Hello, hello everybody. Paul here. Today I'm going to be doing a shave that I'm going to dedicate to Brian Sharp, also known as Sharp Spine, who last week demonstrated a dry brush lathering method with his Plisson synthetic shave brush, and he did two videos, actually one with Soap Commander soap and one with Katie's Bubbles, and he demonstrated a lathering technique where he loaded a dry brush and then built the lather on his face. When I saw that video, I thought, man, I wonder if that would work with Mystic Waters. And today I'm going to be using the Mystic Waters Prospect Creek. And as I'm sure a lot of you guys know, Mystic Waters has a reputation for being somewhat hard to lather for a lot of people. It's a kind of a finicky lathering soap. If you add too much water too fast, the lather breaks down. At least that's been my experience. I did do a video on lathering the soap a while back where I used a wet brush and I got a pretty decent lather with it, but I tried this lathering technique with it, and for me this technique was allowed me to get the best lather I've ever gotten with this soap. It was just absolutely incredible, and so I'm going to demonstrate that and do that for you today in my shave, and we'll see how it goes. I have three different Mystic Waters soaps currently. I have the Prospect Creek, the Marrakesh, and the Indian Summer. I tried it with all three of those soaps. I tried it with different brushes. I tried it with synthetics. I tried it with Badger brushes. The only caveat is with the Badger brush, I did soak my brush. I did not use a completely dry brush to load the soap because I think using a dry animal hair brush to load the soap may put a little bit too much strain on the bristles and they may be more prone to breakage. So I did soak the brush and then I shook it out real good, squeezed out the water, got out as much water as I could, and then loaded the brush, and it worked great. So today I'm going to use just the pretty much a dry brush technique. So I've got the Plisson, I have the Mystic Waters. The Mystic Waters was, I did put some water on it while I took a shower, and I've got a little bit of water on there right now, and I'm just going to go ahead and load the brush on the soap. I'm going to give it a good loading on the soap. And then I'll just apply this to my face. Now, for my pre-shave, I have applied so you can see I've got a pretty good loading there. And I may load a little bit more as we go here. I'm just going to add a tad bit of water to that. Okay, so I've got a good amount of soap loaded on the brush, and I have the soap there just in case I need some more. I'm just going to apply a little bit of water to my face. And like I said, I've applied the Vito's pre-shave. Whoops. There it is for anybody who hasn't seen it. I think I did use that on my last shave of the day. So, and I'll go ahead and just start applying the soap to my face. And one thing about this technique, at least with this soap, it does take a little bit longer to get the lather right where you want it to be. You have to add your water slowly, and you're going to start out with almost like, as some people have described, like a soap paste, which is kind of what we've got there. And I'm just going to let the water trickle. And there's been talk on the forums and on the internet about using cold, lukewarm water with this soap, cold water with this soap. I'm just using hot water out of the tap, and I'm just dripping it on the brush. And I've also got my brush scuttle here warming, and I'm going to go ahead and use it, and we'll see if that causes any deterioration of the lather at all. So with each addition of water, we're going to work it in really, really good. And we're just going to keep building this lather until we've got a nice, creamy, thick lather. And I think Brian described the lather as ultra lather, and I would say that that is a very good description of this lather that you get with this particular technique. It is really incredible. And as you can see, as you start slowly adding the water and working it in, the lather does start to kind of build up here a little bit. And one thing I found with the Mystic Water Soap that I've always really enjoyed is the scent of these soaps are outstanding. And these soaps also have a really nice slipness to them. And I think, you know, my only complaint, and I think people's only complaint with them is just, you know, the lather for some people just is not stable. It doesn't hold up. And it's hard to get a good, thick, creamy lather that I think most people enjoy with it. But I think you'll find if you try this this particular technique, I think you'll be really quite surprised at the outcome. And we're almost getting there. And so as you can see, I have kind of a really nice, dense, thick lather here without a bunch of air in it. And the water's been added slowly to hydrate the soap without adding it too quickly, and it becomes incorporated, I think, into the soap a lot better this way. And I think the end result is you end up with a much, much better lather. So I'm just going to thin this out a bit here, and we'll go ahead and get going with the shave. So it does take a little bit longer to build the lather up. But for me, I actually enjoy the whole lathering process. It takes a little bit of extra time to do that to get a good result. Really is not a big deal to me. But if that is a big deal to you, you know, maybe this isn't for you. But I think if you have some of this soap laying around the house and you've been, you know, not using it because you didn't like the way it lathered or whatever, you might want to go ahead and just give this a try. So, for the razor, I'm using a Merkur 15C with a Bolzano blade. Whoops, there she is. Bolzano blade, and this is actually my first shave with the 15C. I found this at a local barber supply place here in Phoenix called Rubinox, which I've spoken of before. they sell supplies to barbers, obviously, but they also have a very good selection of wet shaving products. Okay. So, and I really enjoy the 11C, so I thought I would get this one as well. It's a 3-piece razor, and I figured I could, you know, always use the head with my UFO handle or something like that. So, go ahead and go with our second pass. The Prospect Creek soap is has kind of a peppermint scent, and it has menthol in it, and it's got a pretty good menthol kick. This was the, I believe, the second version. The original version of the Prospect Creek didn't quite have as much menthol, and then last year, when Michelle redid the soap, she added more menthol to it to give a little bit more of a menthol kick to the menthol lovers. And I've been really happy with the menthol level in this. It feels really good. So. And it's got a nice clean pepperminty smell, which is really nice. And just on a side note, this soap really pairs nicely with the Crampert's Frostbite Aftershave. The scent profile on both those is pretty similar. So the 15C feels quite smooth. These Merkur open comb razors are not really super aggressive. They're fairly mild, and to me it feels pretty similar to the 11C. The 11C, of course, was in that HD line, like the 34C and the 37C. It has that same heavy handle on it, and this one has a little bit thinner handle, and of course it's a 3-piece, and it's not a 2-piece like those other two. So plenty of lather in that brush. Alright, I'm going to do a final pass. And just a little note on the Bolzano blade. This Bolzano blade, I also picked these up at Rubinoff's a while back just to try them out, and I've been pretty impressed with them. I know some people don't really care for them, but they seem to work pretty well for me, so I've been pretty happy with them. And though I bought just 2 10-packs, I would probably not hesitate to get some more when these are gone. So. Okay, we call that good. I'll just go ahead and clean the soap off my face here. We've got a nice tingle there from the menthol and the soap. There's the brush. That's what we have left over, certainly enough for another pass. And you can see what's in the brush is still nice and thick and creamy. Really pretty impressive lather with a soap that has a reputation for being a bit of a difficult soap to lather. But I think with this particular technique, because you're adding the water slowly, and my experience with this soap, at least here at my house, is that if you add too much water too fast with this soap, the lather becomes bubbly and it breaks down and does the disappearing lather trick. But using this dry brush or dry herb brush technique and adding the water slowly as you base lather, it seems to really do the trick with this soap. And I guess with this technique, thanks to Brian for posting that and enlightening me on that technique. The mystery to Mystic Waters for me has now been solved. Anyways, guys, today I'm going to be using an aftershave that I just got recently. Jeff Anderson obtained this for myself and another member of one of the Facebook forums, as well as himself. And this is the Agua Lavanda Puig. This is allegedly Frank Sinatra's favorite aftershave, and so if it's good enough for old Blue Eyes, it's definitely good enough for me. And it really smells great. If you like lavender, this is a really nice manly lavender scent, and this is just a great aftershave. So I'm going to go ahead and apply a little splash of that, maybe even a double splash. And this is it has a really nice kind of manly lavender, earthy lavender sort of scent to it. I used this yesterday with the Mike's Hungarian lavender soap, and that was a great pairing. Those two have really worked well together. So, all right. So that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. If you have any questions whatsoever, please feel free to comment below. I'll respond to those as quickly as possible. I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.